welcome back to my channel. My name is Millie and today I am going to be showing you the 10 books that I am going to be reading over the next couple of months. So about a week ago I asked over on my Instagram for book recommendations because I normally only read romantic, lovey-dovey, boy meets girl, fall in love, happily ever after kind of books. And then I finished reading The Tattooist of Auschwitz and it wasn't a book that I would have ever picked up myself, but I really enjoyed it. So now I'm trying to pick up a few different kinds of books that I wouldn't normally pick up off my own back, but that I've maybe heard really good things about or have been recommended to me. And when I have read all of these books, I am going to come back and give an honest review, what I thought, would I recommend them going forwards, and just a general overview of what I think of all of these books, because they are all quite different, I think. Obviously I haven't read any of them yet, but these have all been recommended to me from a very wide range of people. Some of them have been recommended from guys, some from girls, older, younger, all different people. And I have bought 10 that I am going to promise myself that I will read over the next couple of months and then give you my feedback. So the first one that I'm going to talk to you about hasn't actually been delivered yet. I wanted to get this video filmed so that I could start reading them and hopefully get the review video up quicker for you. But the first one that I wanted to tell you about is The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. And on the back of the book it says, "Be careful who you let in. In a large house in London's fashionable Chelsea, a baby is awake in her cot. Well fed and cared for, she is happily waiting for someone to pick her up. In the kitchen lie 3 decomposing corpses. Close to them is a hastily scrawled note. They've been dead for several days." So this is one that I have seen loads about online. Loads of people have been saying how good it is and how quickly they've read it, and you know, it's just one of those books that they can't put down. From what I've read, people have just read this book in a day. It's that kind of book that you just really get into and you can't put down. So I'm really looking forward to that one coming. It is 100% not the kind of book that I would normally read. Anything that involves corpses I don't tend to gravitate towards. But like I said, I'm pushing myself out of my comfort zone. I am reading different things, and if I don't like them, then I don't like them. But you know, all of these have been recommended, so hopefully I like a good portion of them. So the second book that I wanted to read is Sally Rooney, Normal People. This was the winner of the 2018 Costa Novel Awards. This one has actually been made into a TV show, and I knew I wanted to read it before I watched the TV show. If I know that something has been made into a film or a TV show, I always like to read it first. But I will hold judgment until I've read this and watched the TV show. I will let you know my opinions on both. But this is another one of my best friends recommended this to me. So this one says, "Connell and Marianne grew up in the same small town in the west of Ireland, but the similarities end there. Connell is popular and well liked, while Marianne is a loner. But when the two strike up a conversation, awkward but electrifying, something life-changing begins. Normal People is a story of a mutual fascination, friendship and love. It takes us from that first conversation to the years beyond, in the company of 2 people who try to stay apart but find they can't." So this is one that I probably would have picked up myself. It seems like that sort of typical boy meets girl, fall in love, get married happily ever after, but something tells me that it's not going to be quite that simple. I mean, one of the reviews that they've got on the back of here says, "I finished the book determined to look at the world differently. I'm not sure what higher compliment you can pay a novel." So I'm thinking it's not just going to be a typical sort of love story. I'm thinking it's going to have a bit more in it than just the normal love story, which is fine. I love a love story. I love the romance and, you know, just sort of the predictability of knowing what's going to happen. But I have a feeling that this one isn't going to be quite like that. I don't think they would make a TV show out of something as predictable as that. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. I think this is the first one that I'm going to start reading just so that I can finish it and then watch the TV show. So next up we have the Flatshare by Beth O'Leary. So it says, their friends think they're crazy, but it's the perfect solution. Leon occupies the one-bed flat while Tiffy's at work in the day, and she has the run of the place the rest of the time. But with obsessive ex-boyfriends, wrongly imprisoned brothers, and of course the fact that they still haven't met yet, it seems this Flatshare is more complicated than expected. So this one was actually recommended by one of my good friends from school, and she did send me a quick little review. So I will just read you what she said. When you asked for books, I suggested The Flatshare. It's a good book, I read it in a couple of days. Whilst there is a darkish theme running through it, it's a fairly light, enjoyable read, especially with everything going on at the moment. So I don't know what she actually meant by that, but I'm looking forward to finding out. As I was sort of shopping, and I was on Amazon and eBay, looking up all of the different books that people had recommended to me, this is one that kept coming up on like suggested things while I was looking up other ones. And then I saw that my friend had recommended it to me, and I thought, well, I've got to try it now because I already knew, you know, what it looked like, and I already recognised it because it had come up online a few times. So I am looking forward to getting my teeth into this one, especially with her saying, especially with everything that's going on at the moment. I'm like, is this one of those books that can sort of lend itself to life all the time? Like, the themes in it are relevant all of the time. So yeah, another one that I'm looking forward to. So next up we have The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. Sorry if I've said that name wrong. So this one just says, Alicia Berenson lived a seemingly perfect life until one day 6 years ago when she shot her husband in the head 5 times. Since then, she hasn't spoken a single word. So I think I read something online about the main character being an artist, and she had never sort of made any money off her art. She was just making it for the love of it. And then obviously this happens where she shot her husband in the head 5 times and she hasn't spoken a single word, and suddenly the prices of her art are going up and loads of people sort of want to know her more, but she's not talking, and it's sort of that dynamic between how her name is becoming famous but she's not saying anything. And it's something about her diary and her psychiatrist notes, or her psychiatrist's diary, or something like that, which definitely is not anything that I would read. That sort of thriller, crime book is not something that I would ever pick up myself. But, you know, I'm pushing myself, I'm trying different things, and this is another one that people have said that they have just read in one sitting. Yeah, that might be an interesting read. I'll let you know. Next up we have Blood Orange by Harriet Tice. So this just says, Alison has it all, a loving family and a career on the rise. She's just been given her first murder case to defend, but all is never as it seems. Definitely not anything that I would read with a murder case to defend, but it's another one that I saw come up a lot when I was looking up all of the ones that I've got so far. This was one that kept coming up. On the front it says, a damaged marriage, a toxic affair, a dark obsession. So yeah, definitely not something that I would normally pick up from just scanning through like Amazon, but you know, it was recommended, so giving it a go. So this is another one that I've seen loads about online. This is actually the first one that I bought because I'd just seen so much about it online, and I knew that my best friend has been reading this as well. So this is the first one that I picked up before it was even recommended to me. So this is Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. So it says on the back, Eleanor Oliphant leads a simple life. She wears the same clothes to work every day, eats the same meal deal for lunch every day, and buys the same 2 bottles of vodka to drink every weekend. Eleanor Oliphant is happy. Nothing is missing from her carefully timetabled existence, except sometimes everything. So I have no idea what to expect from this, apart from so many people recommended this to me. This was definitely the most recommended one when I asked my friends and when I asked on Instagram. Everybody said that I needed to read this one, and I don't know how I have not read this book before, because I have been aware of it for a very long time. So I'm looking forward to getting my teeth into it, but seems like one that I would enjoy. It doesn't seem like it has any murder or death or anything horrible like that in it, but it also maybe doesn't seem like the kind of traditional, predictable, lovey-dovey book that I normally read. So next up is This Is Going to Hurt, Secret Diaries of a Junior Doctor by Adam Kay. I thought that this was a particularly relevant read with all of the problems that we've got going on in the world with coronavirus and the pressure that is on the NHS. This is about the NHS. It is a UK book, I do believe. So on the back of it says 97-hour weeks, life and death decisions, a constant tsunami of bodily fluids, and the hospital parking meter earns more than you. Welcome to the life of a junior doctor. Scribbled in secret after endless days, sleepless nights and missed weekends, Adam Kay's diaries provide a no-holds-barred account of his time on the NHS frontline. Hilarious, horrifying and heartbreaking. This is everything you wanted to know, and more than a few things you didn't, about life on and off the hospital ward. So I just thought that this would maybe be quite an eye-opening book about, you know, the pressures and everything that doctors are going through at the minute. It would maybe give me more of an insight into the struggles of NHS people. I mean, Stephen Fry says it's painfully funny, so I mean, it's got to be at least half decent if Stephen Fry says painfully funny. Next up is The Rosie Project by Graham Simison. Honestly, I just bought this one because it had a cute front cover. I know you're not meant to do that, but I did. So this one says, love isn't an exact science, but no one told Don Tillman. A handsome 39-year-old Genesis, Don's never had a second date, so he devises the Wife Project, a scientific test to find the perfect partner. Enter Rosie, the world's most incompatible woman, throwing Don's safe, ordered life into chaos. Just what is this unsettling alien emotion he's feeling? This sounds like my typical kind of book. I don't think I was recommended this. I think I just bought it because I liked the cover. I think this will just be a typical love story. They will maybe throw in the odd curveball with Rosie being the world's most incompatible woman. I mean, they're just setting themselves up for, but she becomes compatible and they live happy ever after. But let's wait and see. So this next one was the winner of the 1990 Booker Prize, so it was a prize-winning book before I was born, but looking forward to reading it nonetheless. This is Possession, a Romance by A.S. Byatt, B-Y-A-T-T, Byatt, is that how you say it? And on the back, one of the reviews says, a massive, complex story about a literary mystery which turns into an emotional voyage of discovery. The novel is a triumphant success on every level, as a critique of Victorian poetry, an unbearably moving love story, and a satire on the modern biography industry. Possession will be the sensation of the year. That's the review from Cosmopolitan in 1990, but I'm hoping this is sort of going to be an oldie-worldy love story and, you know, lots of big old words, and I don't know, I'm just hoping that it'll be a little bit different to the modern sort of love story. And the last one that got recommended to me is The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. One that I have heard of before. Is it a film now, The Kite Runner, I think? But this is just another one that I thought would be sort of the classic, like everybody has to read it. 1970s Afghanistan. 12-year-old Amir is desperate to win the local kite fighting tournament, and his loyal friend Hassan promises to help him, but neither of the boys can foresee what will happen to Hassan that afternoon, an event that is to shatter their lives after the Russians invade and the family is forced to flee to America, and Mia realises that one day he must return to Afghanistan under Taliban rule to find the one thing that his new world cannot grant him: redemption. So again, I just think that this will be another one of those eye-opening books that everybody has to read at some point, and if it has been made into a film, which I'm sure it has, I will watch the film afterwards as well and give a comparison between the two. So they are all of the books that I'm going to be reading over the next couple of months. I am going to start with Normal People so that I can watch the TV show and give the comparison between the two. But if there are any other books that you think I need to add to this list, then definitely let me know, and I will add them to my list and do another one of these videos once I've got through all of these ones, which hopefully won't be too long. But until then, thank you for watching.